now 7:50 AM, 10 to 8 on Saturday, June the 12th, and that's my bivvy site behind me. I've just gone round, kicked all the grass so it's back up, mostly a couple of days and you'll never know I've been there. I'm going to head along here, back on that road, and then I'll be heading that way. Well, it's 9 now, and I made a big mistake this morning. When I got up this morning, I nearly considered going back to the roundabout, only half a mile or so back, because I think there were some garages and some shops there, but I thought it's probably too early in the morning, I'll press on. What a mistake. I've just done about 9 miles on the road up and down. It's already very hot, and I hardly had any water left. I had about half a litre, and I was having to sort of really ration it, short swigs. And every time I come to what I thought was a little village, nothing there at all. Anyway, cut long story short, I've just crossed a busy motorway. I'm not sure which one it is, I'll put it on the screen now. And I just happened to look down, I saw there were some services about a quarter of a mile away, and I just followed my nose and came into the back of the service entrance. I just came into the motorway services on a service road, sort of thing the staff use. And I've just been stung, to be honest. Water, obviously, sandwich for later on, bottle of Pepsi, 2 bars of chocolate, £10.40 at Waitrose. There's some off-road later on. I'm not quite sure when it comes, but I don't think it's that far away. It's really important. I needed water. I mean, I've got food on the bike, but it's the sort of stuff that was going to make me more thirsty, like fig rolls and Haribos and bars of chocolate. It's just enough to keep me going until I found a shop. So yeah, I think I've made a big mistake this morning, but hey ho, you live and learn, don't you? I was getting quite desperate for water. I was really rationing it. And I was crossing this motorway, I saw there's some services, and as soon as I saw that right hand turn, I'm pretty sure there'd be a service entrance into it, and there was. Phew. It's only 10 o'clock, but I've stopped for an early lunch. The road's quite challenging this morning, literally up and down, up and down. That takes its toll. So I've just come that way, crossed this main road, but the Fosseway actually comes through this pub car park. So I'm taking this opportunity to use this seat, have a snack, catch up on some energy. I got about 23 miles to the Travelodge. I mean, I can't really get in much for 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you know, do I really want to spend more than 12 hours there? It'd be great to really have a nice hot shower, hopefully get some clothes washed and dry, see if there's a meal I can have, just recharge everything, take all my bivvy stuff out and really give it a good airing and a good drying. So the priority is a fairly short day today, and then early to bed tonight, and I'm going to try and be up at 3 in the morning, be on the road for 4 AM because there's a busy stretch that I want to try and really avoid. A couple of ladies walkers just stopped and had a chat about the costume and all that, discussing where I'm going and what they're doing, and they've just told me they live around here, and they said there's a bridge that the Fosseway uses coming up that's closed, and they got a fence over it. She said she doesn't think I'll get through. There's a detour, you can either fork left or right. Right would be going through Rugby. She thinks the left fork's the nicer one. I'm sure it'll be signposted, but I'll certainly go up the bridge and see if I can get across. But it sounds like it's a detour, so that's going to add a few miles to the day. I'm at the bridge the ladies told me about, and I can see what they've meant. There's been very little maintenance on this, but yeah, look at all this stonework about to go in. I'm a bit in awe of stonemasons actually, ever since I had my house repointed and saw the craftsmanship involved. You can get through no problem on foot. In fact, to be honest, I saw a cyclist coming the other way and I just shouted out, "Can you get through the bridge?" He said, "Yeah, no problem on a bike." So big relief actually. Wow, lovely bridge. I just came up to a very busy road junction, pointing Milton Keynes one way and Hinckley the other way, and the Fosseway signs just stopped, and this is the reason it goes off road for a while. I was expecting this, I wasn't quite sure when it was going to be. This is a bit like yesterday. It's actually quite an easy stretch to ride. The surface is fairly compact and it's fairly flat. You hear the traffic in the distance but not see it. It's really nice. It's coming up to 2 p.m. I'm on a really busy road coming into Leicester. I'm about 4 or 5 miles just south of Leicester. This is where I leave the Fosseway and head up that way to my Travelodge. I've just come in from that way, and tomorrow I'll be heading that way, but for now I'm heading this way. 3.25 miles up to my Travelodge. Quite looking forward to getting there. Really hot and sweaty, and I'm just hoping it has a bath as well as a shower. I just really fancy a long soak. So I'll see you back here sometime in the early hours of tomorrow morning. So there's a lot of road that could well be busy that I want to try and ride before traffic build up. So see you in the morning. Hello, good morning. It's 4:23 a.m. on Sunday the 13th of June. Now I've just retraced from my Travelodge back to this Mirko garage on this big roundabout. What a contrast to yesterday. There's the odd taxi going by or occasional lorry, but apart from that, it's really quiet. That is quite nice, just got a nice friendly wave from a fire engine going by. So I came in from that way yesterday, really busy when I got here. 3.5 miles up to Travelodge. It was amazing. You got this B road and you turn down a country lane with about a mile to go. You think there can't be one around here. You go through this sort of mock Tudor estate, and then you come out on the Hinckley Road, which clearly looks like it's going up the motorway. I thought, oh, this is more promising. And even with 0.1 miles to go, I couldn't see the Travelodge. And you go along and suddenly the track stops and it's right there on your left. I say it so many times, but the wonders of GPS navigation never fail to amaze me. I'd have never found that without the GPS yesterday. I was thinking I won't be the only Centurion to have ridden up this road, but I'm pretty sure I must be the only Centurion in a high-vis jacket. Anyway, 59 miles, let's get going. It's now 5:28 and I've just about got through Leicester. You can see I'm on the Fosseway on this minor road, just leaving the last bits of suburbia, coming through Leicester. I mean, I made sure I got plenty of supplies yesterday. There was a Tesco just a couple of 100 yards along from the Travelodge, and I went along there and stocked up. I thought there'd be nothing to buy probably on a Sunday morning until about sort of 10:30, 11 a.m. And plus that, I didn't want to stop whatsoever in Leicester because of the high infection rates here. And it was just like New York. It's like the city that never sleeps. You would have thought it was a Saturday afternoon. It was just unbelievable. And some of the sites I saw, I won't go into detail, but just inner city sites. And, you know, quite buzzy to be honest. And I was going through dressed as a Roman in high-vis. A couple of little memorable episodes. I made sure I followed the Garmin because I just don't know where I'm going otherwise. And I was going through this main road. It sent me down some side streets with brick sort of inner city, deprived area housing. And I just thought, gosh, if my Garmin was to fail now, if I was to get a puncture, what a mess I'd be in. So I got through there quite quick, and then I went through the town centre, and just, it was such a buzz, it was amazing. And the other thing is, yes, I saw lots of taxis. It looks like people coming back from nightclubs, and some people walking, and you know, the normal sights in the city centre on the early hours of a Sunday morning. But I went past bus stops and there was queues and queues of people at bus stops at, you know, at past 4 in the morning. Yeah, just a very, very weird experience. And also, every time I stopped, there was lots of traffic lights. So I had my mask up all the way through, and I've got glasses on this morning, and they were just clouding up. It was just a bit unreal. I mentioned at the start of the second leg, as I left Bath, that I was crossing the A46 and I'd be rejoining it much further north. Well, I'm just getting on it now. This is the first of today's sections heading up towards Newark. So the Fosseway follows it, and then bits of it must have been dual carriageway and modernised, because looking at the map, I parallel it for a bit as well. But there are some dual carriageway sections, which is why I wanted to ride it really early on a Sunday morning. This is the dual carriageway section of the A46, which is why I planned this to be really early hours on a Sunday morning. But a milestone, I've just spotted my first sign for Lincoln, 43 miles. That's slightly over what I did yesterday. It's now 6:30 and I've done a really nice long straight stretch of the A46 dual carriageway. You can see it's not very busy, and because it's dual carriageway and there's almost like a little hard shoulder, it's much safer than I thought it would be. But I've just been diverted this way, and well, you'll see by my comprehensive notes there, all I've got for today is retrace back to the traffic lights and then join A46 at 15 until 56 miles. But I do know from the planning on the ride with GPS, there was lots of wiggles where I really need to pay attention and follow the Garmin exactly, because it takes me across different carriageways, and this looks like it's the old A46. I think I'm on an even quieter road now for a few miles, and then I know at a later stage it wiggles across and then goes in on the right hand side. Not far to go, but lots of concentration needed. I've just come up this service road, part of the old A46 I expect, and now there's a section of bridleway right alongside the A46. That was about a mile of bridleway alongside the A46. Then you join this smaller road, and again running alongside next to it. Still very quiet over there. That was quite difficult coming along there. The sun was on my right hand side, and it's just round about the treetop level on the other side of the dual carriageway. And it was just flickering. I was getting that stroboscope effect. I was having to hold one hand up over the side of my face to try and block it out. And of course, that's the last thing I wanted to do on a bumpy track. Anyway, along here for a bit. At the moment, I'm just literally following the Garmin. A slight lapse in concentration. I was zooming back along the A46 and I passed this turning, thought, well, it can't be down there, it goes off to the left. And I had a Garmin alarm after about 100 metres, so I literally had to turn around and just walk it back. Luckily, very little traffic. And I've just come down here, so there's the embankment of the A46, and it's sending me down here. We shall see. That led me on to a gravel track, which is actually taking me right underneath the A46. I had a Garmin alarm, I went too far, and then it sent me back just up this little track. And now I'm coming this way and going that way. There's the A46 running alongside on my left now. This bit I definitely remember. This is one of those wiggles where I made sure I street viewed it just to get a mental picture of what to expect. It's coming up to 7:30 now. This is the track I've just taken alongside the A46 there, and it looks like I'm about to join this road that parallels it. as I said, I'm just following the Garmin. I do know that not all of today was on the A46. It just follows it for the majority of it. So 31 miles to go, my Garmin says. That's probably linking itself is about 28, 29, because when I get to Travelodge, I'm going to overshoot it. I mean, I'm not just riding from Exeter to Lincoln Travelodge. I want to go up to the Roman walls and the cathedral. Be really nice if I could be checked in for 1 o'clock, because the England match is on TV this afternoon. I just caught the end of the Wales match last night at the Travelodge, so that's a bit of an added bonus. The other thing with these sections is every time I'm touching anything, I'm just stopping, well, obviously to get through the gate and close it, and then to disinfect my hands with hand gel, not taking any chances. Having said that, I rode the Fosseway to experience the journey. It's not about the destination, it's definitely about the journey. And it's 7:30 in the morning, I've got 31 miles to go, so I'm in absolutely no hurry whatsoever, with the slight caveat of I'd quite like to see the England match this afternoon. Just coming up to 8 AM. It's already very, very warm. I've just stopped at this BP garage to get myself a second cup of coffee. Had one at the Travelodge before leaving. So very welcome Costa coffee. And this is actually the Foss Road along here. I seem to remember this from the planning. There's a bit where the A46 curves round. I think it might be round Newark-on-Trent. Again, this is all new to me, so it's quite nice just exploring without knowing too much in advance. And there's this road, obviously straight road. I'm following the Fossway. I think I may rejoin the A46, I'm just not really sure, but it's less than 30 miles to go, about 26 I think. After my Costa coffee, once again, really nice leg on this service road alongside the A46. Some runners coming towards me. I was just sent down to join the A46 going in the wrong direction. There's no way I could possibly get across because there's a barrier. And again, look, there's no through road up here. I'm beginning to wonder if that's what would have happened in Honiton last week on the first day. My first thought was just don't go down there, it's just too dangerous. And if it is wrong, and it probably is going to be wrong, you're then going to have to turn up, come back and go up a slip road the wrong way. I got to a gate which was locked, and I just took the bags off the bike, lifted the bike over, put the bags over separately, reassembled it, and it took me down towards a farm, and now it sends me down this bumpy track. It clearly leads somewhere because there's tractor tyres, but it's very bumpy. Again, this is researched on Ride with GPS, so as far as I'm concerned, it's a bridleway, it's perfectly legal. I'm not quite sure that gate was shut. It's rideable, but a bit bumpy. You can hear the traffic literally right about 20 feet to my left, although you can't see it. It's always a bit nerve-wracking when you've had to climb over a gate like that, because you wonder what's at the other end. Are you going to be shouted at and told off? I will stand my ground if I have to, but I try not to. I always try to just tell people I'm sorry and explain. I mean, pretty obvious me dressed like this if I tell them I'm following the Fossway. After about half a mile of grass track, very defined, quite bumpy though, you get to this S-bend on a track. It looks like I'm cutting through a farm. The irony is not lost on me. I'm following the Fossway, which is a ruler straight route, and really the A46 really would take me to Lincoln, but today's navigation is actually really tricky. A couple of times I've just overshot things and had to alarm and had to sort of backtrack, so quite tired as well. So I see the funny side of it. I just came around that little kink in that road and I'm back on tarmac. You can see the A46 there. I'm going to be running parallel to it again. Probably hear it more than see it. That's quite reassuring. I've come along there and now I'm crossing the A46 on this bridge. It looks like I'm going to be going down there. You can see why I wanted to get the section of the A46 out the way this morning. There's virtually no traffic when I rode it at 5 o'clock this morning. Look how busy it is now. So I'm now on this nice quiet road and ruler straight, as you can imagine. So we're heading that way towards Lincoln. Quick update north of Newark. As I came out of Newark, I was on cycle paths and then it led me up to the A46. And again, a little bit of wriggling with the GPS. And I cut through a garage forecourt and then I actually came out on the A46. Only about a quarter of a mile, but very, very busy. I mean, luckily I had a hard shoulder and the motorists would consider it. I got to roundabout. And again, I could see it going off sharp right and then sort of almost doing a V shape and coming back. So it took me about 5 minutes to get across that roundabout. It was that busy. And then I had to climb under, then I had to lean the bike under a barrier and it said private, no right of way. But again, the Garmin has suggested that as a byway. And technically, I probably should not have done it. But I mean, safety wise, yes, I took the chance and I came across some farmland on a definitely defined track, and then I just had to take the panniers off and lift the bike over a gate, and I've just reloaded it now. The A46 now is basically like a motorway really, except with 2 lanes and a very narrow shoulder. Quarter of a mile on it was okay, but I wouldn't want to ride any more than that. Now about half a mile further on, the A46 is just over there, you can hear it, sheltered by the trees. I've just come to a T-junction, done a right and immediate left. It says no through road down here, but I have to say I'm putting complete faith in the Garmin, because up to now it hasn't failed me, apart from having to climb over a couple of gates. Okay, crunch time. Well, I came in that way down that no through road. The Garmin suggested taking a right and then a left. You may just see it on the sign there with the red block, and it actually tried to take me down onto this carriageway. I mean, not only would that be foolhardy and irresponsible, it's technically illegal as well. I'm just not going to do that. I couldn't see any indication of a track that was going to run alongside it. So now I'm afraid it's a case of I'm going to have to ride up the A46. You can see there's a hard shoulder there, a bit of one. Dual carriageway. I've got all my lights on flashing. Going to put some high vis on, and that's all I can do really.